I'm Bonnie.
And I'm Margie.
And I'm Scott.
Scott's our guest today and a dear friend. And we just finished one video with Scott that will be up if you're looking for another cool conversation to listen to. We talked about how we know when to connect deeply with another person that we may already have or may just be getting to know at the beginning of a connection. And that was pretty neat. And Margie, over to you.
And two things came up for me during that conversation. One, the phone rang, and it really annoyed Bonnie, but she did well with it. And she also brought it up so it could be cleared out of the ear. And I realized that I trusted Scott enough to keep talking and handling it while I popped up and down, shutting the answering machine on. So that was one thing that came to me. But the other thing that came to me was talking about having judgments against people. And I realized I have them when they're not seeing themselves as their highest special being, or they're not doing something that I want them to do. And what I want them to do generally are places that I judge myself. So those were the two things that I noticed. Bonnie made the comment afterwards about people not being willing to jump off the cliff in the workshop, but the truth of that is, if I don't think they're going deep enough in the workshop, I have judgment. But it's judgment all the time, every time.
See, I wasn't specific. And this is where we play. It's like, I wasn't even speaking specifically about people in the workshop. I'm speaking about me out in the world.
Cool.
You know, working with the Casting Crowns or the Cast in Dark Side. I've just been being this performance coach, helping people dig deeper into themselves, because the broader an actor knows themselves, the broader they're going to be able to play and express an emotion of a character. If they're not willing to cry and the character is sad, then it's a shallower experience. And so I was talking about anybody, the invitation to go deeper. Somebody I walk with on the boardwalk, I walk by them 20 million times and finally introduce myself and find out where they're willing to go right there in walking around the boardwalk. And there are some people that are able to drop right in, and some people who, God almighty, it's like it's as if I were talking a foreign language.
So that speaks to me, you know, at least on the surface of some of those old emotional intelligence tests or scales that we used to follow, and even still do, right? So I'm gonna walk down the boardwalk and I'm going to acknowledge people and make a connection with people with my eyes and my smile without ever saying a word, and that be my test as I'm walking down the boardwalk. And that initial moment is a test to where each one of those people are willing to go in that moment. Mm-hmm. So then what happens when you get someone who does connect, who does look at you in your eyes, sees your smile and connects with you and smiles back? Do you stop? Do you stop and have a conversation? Are you both having that same thought, right? So then at which level, and then where are we testing that from that emotional place? And then the deeper place, maybe not necessarily in a workshop, but in an environment where you're coaching someone and they're saying, I want to go deeper. Help me go deeper. I'm afraid to go deeper. I don't know how to go deeper. Well, then how do you connect to them and bring them down into that place? Because I think those are just opposite ends of a spectrum. Right?
Interesting, because I usually, that to me is a workshop challenge. I don't get to have people don't usually ask that of me. How do I go deeper? So formally.
Right, but as you were talking about it, you were talking about that actor or actress who you were performance coaching to go deeper into that pool to experience more of their own personal emotional body, so they can reflect that back in their craft, right?
Yes.
Well, that's an implied request. If you're my coach and I'm walking up to
Fair
you
enough,
saying,
fair enough.
how do I access more of this character? What they're really saying to you is, how do I tap deeper into my emotional pool and come up with a deeper, more resonant reflection of that emotion?
And I believe that's what anybody who is willing to engage with me is wanting. That's why we're connecting to begin with.
Yes.
It's only our history, our fears, our socialization, upbringing that prevents it to begin with, because I know I have those conversations just with people. And the how-to for me is being willing to tell the truth. How much truth we don't tell. You just said that and it made me uncomfortable. Do you say that to somebody you just met? No.
Right.
But if we did, in that second they'd go, oh no, I didn't mean, or I meant, or what's going on?
Or I did mean it, how can I help you through that?
If they're already comfortable going to that deep level.
Right.
Yes.
Or I did mean
Yes.
what I said, but I didn't want you to be hurt by it.
Right.
Or I mean, you and I have been through stuff where it's like, yeah, now that you mention it, there was a part of me that was already carrying something, and this was an unconscious opportunity. I gave myself permission to jab, and thank you for feeling that and calling me on it, because I love you more than anything that's that's a surface kind of thing. And I love you, and thank you for the opportunity to get it out in the open so we can clean it. It's kind of like, it's funny, today on the call, Jerry was talking, my coach was talking about, he had a cyst removed, and the surface is healing before the deep wound is healing. I can slap a Band-Aid on it and go hi and smile and be seething, or be not willing to make eye contact. So there's a willingness of me all by myself to live out in the world that way. Mm-hmm. And there's a space, because I get told, and I know you do, and I know you do, there's a space that we carry with us that people feel. Mm-hmm. That our aura, our energy field, whatever you want to call it, is a safe space because we're willing to go there.
I think that's what we were referring to either earlier or in the previous video, and that's that feeling that we can see over there, that we know that person's been that place, and they can dive in with us, and we all of a sudden it's like, oh, warm water. Yeah. I can hang out here.
Have you ever been with somebody who they tell you they've not been, and the space you're holding, let them?
Well, and yes.
So there's that too.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real safe space. I mean, for me to go to somebody at the workshop, I already know, no matter how deep they are or aren't willing to go, they've gone deeper than the average bear.
Right.
To somebody on the boardwalk or in the theater, I mean, I don't know these people. Mm-hmm. And you said that they're giving me implied permission. It is very much because they don't know that they're not going.
Right.
They don't, sometimes.
And that's why you're in their space.
And I think that's a role, and I don't really like that word, but we kind of throw out words and play with them until a better one comes out. That we're playing in the world is the willingness to be a shining light, a safe space, not I'm not the only one. And there are people that, like Margie and you, challenge me you know, I'll go to just so far, and you see, wait, go deeper. It's part of what Jerry and his community do as well. This is a safe enough space for all of us to drop down. If down is that's as good a metaphor
Yeah,
as
I like
any.
that one because you're settling into a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but what I'm recognizing and finally giving myself credit for, and I believe you two are the same, but really everyone is we're the way showers for the people who haven't quite gotten there. I have way showers that have gotten deeper and further ahead, which is a yucky description, but they're more in touch with their heart and universal reality than I am.
And if we look at the wound analogy, they've cleaned out more junk. They
Yes.
already know, because part of it is I know I've come to accept quite a range of emotions. I can be angry, I can be sad. So I have space in me for someone else who is expressing or might benefit from exploring expressing. If there are places that I'm not willing to go, I'm going to stop you from going, or you're going to have to take me with you. And some people are not able.
Right.
Or it's going to feel unsafe to go. If you're not willing to go there, then it feels unsafe for me to go there.
But with you, I would be okay feeling unsafe.
So you're saying that if you knew I didn't know where we were going, but I felt like we could go there, and so you would go there with me?
Yes.
Okay. I understand that one because I agree with that one to a certain degree. That is that one place where I hesitate for a moment, right?
Oh, I didn't say.
And I say to myself,
yes.
can I really trust this person? Do I really believe in this person's ability to be fully vulnerable, fully in the moment, and fully present with what's going on? Yes, I'm in. No, I'm asking more questions. Right?
Yes. So we talk about the new paradigm, the new space we're creating. Earlier I said jumping off the cliff and see if you come with me. It's interesting, you were pointing out I'm mental, and there you were, you totally stop your own process and do a mental, even if it's very... I think that we're getting to a place where an opportunity I'm in. That we know that the moment will take care of us. We know that no matter how the other person responds, I'm still safe. That my safety is not dependent upon someone. It's not safety that...
But doesn't that come about as the more we learn to trust ourselves and trust the universe?
Yes.
Trust. It was the word that I kept coming, and then boom, you jumped on it. And where I was going for me was, over the last 6 weeks, I have intentionally put myself in a position to do and experience multiple breakthrough experiences on a physical plane. None of the people that I did that work with did I know. Mm-hmm. None of the people that I did that work, I didn't get on a zip line with anybody I knew. There's nobody I'd done deep emotional work with. I didn't climb into that tiny hole inside of that mountain and wiggle my way out into a waterfall with anybody but some young black man from Jamaica who I've never met before. I did, however, know that he had been there before me. Like he knew. And that there was other people who had survived the zip line. I saw them come down.
That's how I did the fire walk, is I wasn't going to let my fear stop me when I knew others had gone before me.
Well, in fact,
not even in their presence, and now I'm in people's presence. And that's part of the magic of those challenge activities, very much.
And then because the last thing was, I did know him. I did know Bert. I took a rebar and stuck it on my throat and bent it in half with another guy with a rebar in his throat.
Right.
It's a simple breakthrough one, right? We've all done that one before. Well, it was my first time, so we all haven't done it before. But Many have done it before, and it's a power, but the power for me in that moment, my body was shaking, my knees were shaking. I was afraid if this goes wrong, it's going to pull out my jugular vein. I trust Bert.
Yes.
I put my hands down by my side and did exactly what he told me to do, and I just stepped into it, just,
Yeah.
and it was powerful.
You say you trust Bert. And I believe in those situations we get with people and our heart opens enough that we believe we're safe in this universe.
Mm-hmm. I think ultimately that is where we go.
So it's trust the other person, trust myself, trust the universe. And that's a real nice exercise that's part of my NLP training that Jerry does with us, which is like first, second, universe. You know, and it can be a trust thing. I trust me, I trust you, I trust the universe. It can also be a perception thing, which has been helping me to heal my need for attention. I need attention. I need to be the object of your attention. I can give myself attention. So me giving myself would be, or me perceiving out there, I'm first position. Me getting attention from you, or me perceiving through your eyes. Two different things, but the same second position, you. And then sometimes we end up going back and forth and end up in a tug of war. That's where war, when it's right, am I right, are you right, we go back and forth. The power of going to universe next. What do we look like from the universe's perspective? Can we let the universe hold us so we can do the work?
And back to trust.
Yes.
And what I'm starting to realize is when I trust the universe, it gives me information about when I'm not being trustworthy or when you're not being trustworthy. And it's not like that's a label you wear forever.
Right.
It's a label
Yes.
in this moment, this situation.
Yes, nice, Margie.
And when I'm in the place where my heart is wide open and that universal trust comes in, I don't need you to validate me.
Yes. The other interesting thing about trust, and then what I'm going to suggest is let's wrap this. We can start another segment in a moment. We use the word trust as a blanket. I trust you. I find it helpful to say I trust you to do this. I trust you not to do that. For example, I trust you not to want to make dates too far in advance anymore. I used to get upset because how can I plan if I don't know when we're going to get together and when we're going to do whatever. I'm learning to trust that that's where you are. Notice my judgment, put it aside, and trust that we'll get together. So there's the generic big trust, which I think
trust is such a big conversation, we need to save it for a video just about trust.
Great.
Maybe it'll be our next one, because I think...
And explore the relationship between, in case I'm not here.
I thought it would be our next video.
Well, that sounds good. I just don't know if we have enough time. Trust and love, and how we confuse those and sometimes wrap them together in one.
nice.
Nice.
All right, so look for the next video that we'll probably call Trust and Love. And thank you for joining us. If you have any comments, please share them. If you have topics that you would like to hear us explore, great. And Margie, thank you for bringing up. If you'd like to join us and be part of one of our intimate conversations, please reach out and let us know. Thanks again for joining, Bonnie.
Margie?
And Scott.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.